Okay, we're on August 2nd, 2020, the day of my rebirth. And I had no idea that that's where I was leading myself or being led on this day. I knew when I started writing there'd be clarity, but I didn't know there'd be a holy instant. I started to catch on as I continued writing, and it got really exciting. And I'm really excited to read this because I love this entry. Okay. So here we go, August 2nd. As I feel myself being lifted out of the pit of despair, a familiar resistance is present, and it is this. I do not want to be freed from despair without being irrevocably changed. What is the point of being pressurized like a tragic lump of coal to not be turned into a brilliant, holy diamond? Each time I descend into that pit of despair, which has been more times than I care to count, I am simply lifted back up to resume a normal life, and that seems pointless, not to mention abusive. I cannot deny the relief that is felt to not be in despair, but the little gifts that seem to come, if any at all, are honestly not enough. I don't want to feel relief at resuming my normal self with little delights here and there, perhaps some mania and or creative impulses that go nowhere, along with the usual existential dissatisfaction. I don't want to return from the pit of despair, the original core wound, without all of me. It's either all of me or none of me comes back to life, and every single part of me, including my wise God self, says this is justified. Amen. And here's some history. The first time I consciously descended into this pit of disconnection despair was December 1st, 2011, on the heels of my full merger with self that commenced on November 11th, 2011. For those weeks in between, I experienced the fullness, limitlessness, and fearlessness of being fully merged with all of me. On December 1st, that fullness fully retreated, and I was left in blackness. As I mourned the loss of self, I was told, "This was a gift, now get there yourself." Since then, I have been fervently, feverishly, frustratingly been doing all I can to get back there, back to fullness of self. I think most of this time I believed I had to make myself worthy of myself. Even if I told myself I was worthy and consciously believed I'd been worthy, haven't I still been questioning that worthiness and asking the outside world to show me I'm worthy? Haven't I been asking my circumstances, my family, my experiences, even my garden to show me my worthiness, to show me my enlightenment? Granted, I must give myself some credit for overcoming the family, experiences, circumstances, pitfalls through the years. But my garden this summer has been at the mercy of my demands to show me my enlightenment, my worthiness, my mastery. These are the middle of the night insights I was referring to earlier. While long ago I learned not to use anything or anyone to hurt or validate myself, my garden I've given the ability to do both. Perhaps because I felt it was my creation and a true reflection of myself. Even if that is true, and I don't know if I'm fully convinced it is, then it has shown me where I still hold false battles, attachments, guilt, limited perceptions, and the ability to give myself my peace away. I underlined guilt above because it immediately was clear to me that guilt is what I was gardening with the day the Japanese beetles descended. In an enlightened state, I had decided to cut ties with my dear friend, Carrie, so we could both take the last steps of enlightenment on our own. Though ours was just an online friendship, we conversed many times a day and have supported each other hugely through these many years in our spiritual journeys. It was much more than a friendship. It was a sisterhood. And though I know the decision was right and appropriate, it blindsided both of us and really hurt her. I'm no stranger to leaving people behind, and most oftentimes without a second glance. And there has been guilt with this. Even when I know it's always been right and always been appropriate, yes, there has been tremendous guilt. My guilt over hurting Carrie slid me right out of my enlightened state, and then guilt overtook my garden, with endless bugs eating all of the beauty. For a month. Carrie, being the master she is, bounced back quickly, adeptly loving herself through our latest chapter, all the better for it. We will always be sisters, and we will be in correspondence again. I know we've both been given gifts to each other. Mine was looking at my last remaining, hopefully, guilt right in its face and seeing how it cannot accompany me into enlightenment. My garden has showed me my last remnants, hopefully, of seeking validation outside myself. This is when the energy started to really rev up. I'm like, oh, I'm onto something here. How long have I toiled in my gardens of angst, asking them to show me how much I am loved, how special I am, how magical I am? Oh, yes, I've always asked my garden to tell me I am worthy, loved, and special. Don't we all do that with the outside world? And then when it does not answer us the way we like, we attack either ourselves, the world, or both. Goodness knows I wanted to shout my garden to the ground more than once in recent weeks, while attacking my own self, not to mention attacking the bugs. My garden cannot give me these things. I knew it was coming here. I could feel it. Nor can anything or anyone outside myself give me these things. My God self cannot even give me these things. ... Here it comes. Here it comes. Because I already have them. I already am them. We hear this. We know this. We may even preach it. But it seems we must live it, and sometimes live it in the exact opposite, to deeply experience it and embodiment, which brings me back to my pit of despair and not being irrevocably changed, which brings me back to the waiting. The waiting is the waiting to be given something. My 11:11 initiation was a gift given to me, yet it was more of a showing me what I already possessed. I have still been waiting this whole time to be given myself back, while unconsciously asking the questions: have I done enough to receive this gift? Have I suffered enough to receive all of me? Have I cleansed, purged, transmuted enough? Am I peaceful enough? Do I love enough? Am I enough? And here's where it happens. All to receive what is already mine. It's like being in search of a beating heart this whole time. I cannot receive a beating heart. I already have one. I have been waiting for that one moment, that holy instant, that flip of the switch, that one fell swoop to change me. I'm getting chills right now, as I was changed on the 11:11:11. But I was told to get there myself. There is nothing to wait for. There is nothing to be given. It's like getting the answer finally of that question that started my whole conscious spiritual journey, in this lifetime anyway. The question was, what is unconditional love? 13 and a half later, I got the answer. And the answer is I am. I couldn't have answered that question 13 and a half years ago. The answer right now is I am. I am is the answer to many questions, if not all of them. Who is the giver of the holy instant? The giver of that magical moment where I am irrevocably changed. I am. Am I enough? Am I worthy? Am I enlightened? I am. What is realization? Am I realized? I am. What is the holy instant? I am. I am the giver. I am the receiver. My giving is simply bestowing upon myself the remembrance of what I already am. It's a shining of light on what is already there, not a giving of what is absent. And like all enlightened masters say, it is so simple. It is so painfully, humorously, hilariously simple. But you can't remember until you remember. And this is me remembering. I am remembering. This is me realizing. I am realization. This is my holy instant, my magical moment of remembering, realizing that I am all of it. I give this moment to myself as I sit on my porch glider, listening to my dribbling fountain and birdsong, watching the wind dance through the trees, enjoying the flowers in my front garden, some drooping brown and bug-eaten, but most standing proud in beauty, beckoning the bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. This is me feeling my breath deepen as I receive all of myself, and feeling my eyes change as everything looks different now. I give myself this holy, sacred moment that I have been seeking for lifetimes. I laugh as I realize only I could give it to myself. I knew this moment was coming. I knew it would happen this summer. I even knew it would happen on my porch glider. Now, in this moment, and each moment thereafter, I am irrevocably changed. Am I enlightened? Yes.